For this tutorial, I'll be demonstrating a retouch color application using gel only. So sectioning for color application, I've already pre-sectioned 4 equal sections. Center top, I've measured 3 inches back, and a nice curved shape that goes in just behind the ear so that all 4 sections at the widest area are approximately the same width. I've also pre-applied protective barrier cream around the hairline for staining. When performing a retouch color application, there are 2 quadrants to start. Quadrant 1 or quadrant 3. Quadrant 1 is retouch darker, such as gray coverage. Quadrant 3 is for retouch going lighter. We will assume that it is a retouch darker application, so I will start in quadrant 1 and work clockwise around the head. Clean dry hair for color application. We're going to do a 1/2 inch retouch going darker, starting from the top of your section and working down. Retouch for color, 1/4 inch subsections, and we'll assume 1/2 inch of regrowth. My first section, 1/4 inch at the back to a point just behind the front hairline. Ideally, the hand that holds the color brush should not be grabbing hair. I'm going to hold this hair just above 90 degrees. Clean brush. Make sure that your brush is not full of color or gel. Clean brush. Scoop up your product onto your brush and push it onto the regrowth. We are assuming 1/2 inch. Let that hair gently fall to the other side. 1/4 inch subsections, this one will go to the front hairline. Again, holding that hair just above 90 degrees, scoop your product onto your brush and apply. There's no sweeping movement. We do not want to create overlap. I am keeping that hair spread out between my index and middle finger so as not to pinch or converge, and gently laying that hair forward. By starting the first section on a slight diagonal back, it allows the remaining sections to all stay slight diagonal back. So 1/4 inch subsections for color. If I was applying lightener, then I would use 1/8 of an inch subsections. But color, 1/4 inch. And retouch, because I am doing such small sections that I do not need to apply both top and bottom of my section. Push that product, make sure that the scalp is being covered and that you're not getting overlap. So 1/4 inch subsections, 1/2 inch retouch. I am pushing that product, gently laying the hair. I'm not squishing the hair into the previous sections. That will also cause overlap. Overlap with color, especially when you are going darker, will eventually create bands of dark color throughout the strand. So these are very, very slight diagonal back partings. 1/4 inch subsections, and I'm doing 1/2 inch regrowth. Again, ideally, the hand that's holding the color brush is never grabbing the hair. So I section, I use my brush to hold that hair until I can grab it with the other hand. I'm going to continue this section with 1/4 inch subsections, scooping my product onto my brush and applying. That hair is being held just slightly above 90, not pulled over top of the sections I've already completed. I only want to be applying color to the new growth and not overlap onto previously colored hair. So nice consistent 1/4 inch subsections and slight diagonal back partings, and I am pushing my product onto the new growth. If sections are falling down, it is okay to hold more than one section at a time. Just make sure that, again, it's not being squished or squeezed onto the other sections. With this section complete, I am now going to bring my hair back down, pull it up, and let that hair lay naturally so that my color can oxidize. So hair back to natural fall. I am now going to move to the other front section. So working clockwise, always doing 2 fronts or 2 backs. Never working front to back. Your processing will vary. So again, 1/4 inch subsection. I'm going to move the head towards me just so it's a little easier to work with. So on this side, 1/4 inch at the back to a point just behind the front hairline, giving me that very slight diagonal back part. Scoop my product onto the brush and pat the product on to my regrowth. No sweeping motion. I do not want to overlap onto the previously colored hair. Spreading that hair out between my fingers so I'm not converging the hair into the center, and that I am getting consistent application, consistent 1/2 inch of new growth. I will continue this front side section in the same manner as the other side. So that slight diagonal back allows my product to run away from the face. I am applying underneath the section only to avoid overlap. And the hand that holds the color brush never grabs the section of hair, which means that the hand that holds the brush stays clean. So as I'm finished, I want to pull this section up and back down to natural fall to allow my color to process or to oxidize, and keeping that color and hair out of my client's face. I'm going to move on to my third section, quadrant 3. Starting at the top of my section, 1/4 inch subsection. Now here you do have a smaller section. It's okay to use just the corner of your brush, especially if you have a wider brush. Again, holding that hair just above 90 so that I can apply onto my new growth without getting overlap. The sections in the back are horizontal, straight sections, but remember, parting with the curve of the head and 1/4 inch subsections, working from the top of the section to the bottom. Keeping that hair spread out between your index and middle finger to avoid pinching or converging. Only applying to new growth, which in this case is 1/2 inch. So I'm pushing that product onto the hair as opposed to sweeping motion that would create overlap. By using 1/4 inch subsections, it allows the product to saturate through both sides, which is another reason I do not need to apply top and bottom of my section. Move the head forward if you need to. This hair is a really nice length to do retouch on. It doesn't fall down, but again, if the hair is shorter and as you're putting it up and away, it is falling, hold more than one section in your hand at a time. If this was actually color that I was applying, I would obviously wear gloves. Using the end or the tail of your brush to section Do not need to pick up a comb to section. One tool is all you need, your color brush. As I'm getting to the bottom and the hair is getting shorter, I'm going to hold my sections lightly, again, so that I'm not overlapping and squeezing the hair together. One last section. And I bring that hair, pull it up and out, back to natural fall, so that my color will oxidize. And I will move to my final section. Again, starting in the top and turning my brush for this section just because it's a smaller section to begin with. Still 1/4 inch subsections, 1/2 inch of new growth, and retouch application only. Holding that hair just above 90 degrees and making a horizontal part with the curve of the head. I will continue to work down this section. So with my section complete, again, bring that hair up, back down to natural fall, pulling slightly up so that hair can oxidize. Now once I've completed my 4 quadrants, now it is okay if you need to go back around your hairline or along your parts to make sure that you have proper saturation. Again, push that product onto the hair. Do not push the hair and create an overlap. Especially if you're doing gray coverage, making sure that your front hairline especially, you have good coverage. And now I can go along the entire hairline. This is referred to as outlining, not done before your retouch application, but it's okay upon completion to go back and make sure that you have properly saturated, you haven't missed any areas. So the entire way around my hairline, just making sure I've covered everything. Now it's okay to go along my partings.